AOT Racing, Crocodile Cloth, Corner Coach, Vulgar Co, Vortex Racing, Intake Breathing, and so many other companies that I can't even mention in this video are all companies and teams that sponsor me at just the age of 15 years old. For those of you guys who live in the West Coast, I know your riding season is starting just when my riding season is starting, which is pretty soon. It starts in October. And I know maybe a lot of you guys want to start making content, making money off the internet, and maybe eventually get sponsors and get paid to ride your dirt bike. Now, I've made this video before in the past and you guys loved it. I figured I have more advice to give now, and I probably won't stutter as much as I'm making this video. So I'm going to be telling you guys how to get sponsored. Doesn't matter what age you are, just the tips and what you need to do to get sponsored. The first thing that I'm going to say is you need to be professional. I know it's something weird to say, but you need to be professional. It doesn't matter how old you are. By being professional, that doesn't mean that when you go to McDonald's with your friends that you don't have to go play in the play area. Professional, I mean that when you film your videos, you make them as professional as you can. Meaning, have a YouTube schedule. Companies will look at your channel and they'll think this guy's on and off with his posting schedule. He probably doesn't take this that seriously. Meaning, you just post videos whenever you have time. Companies want you to brainstorm your video ideas, have a folder of everything laid out, have certain dates that you post on your channels. And I'm not saying you need to have a $7,000 filming setup, but you want to try to get the best quality that you can. Me personally, I film off of my iPhone 15 Pro. It's not a super expensive filming setup, but it is pretty good quality. A lot of people think that companies want you to have thousands and thousands and thousands of followers. Fun fact for those who are new here, I got my first ever sponsorship when I had only 500 subscribers on YouTube and less than 900 followers on TikTok. A few sponsors later, I now have over 2,000 subscribers on YouTube and over 3,000 on TikTok. So not all companies care about how many followers you have, but I'm not gonna lie, some do care. Some companies that I've reached out to for a sponsorship and they said yes, but they want to see how many followers I have. And the reason why some companies care is because when you promote their videos, they want to make sure that you're not promoting it to just 5 people and then that's it. If companies are sending you stuff for free, in return, they want you to shout out their brand to thousands of people. Now, there is some companies that do sponsor me and they don't give a flying shit about how many followers I have. Vulgar Co, which is the company that I use to make my stickers for my clothing brand, they sponsored me. They are my first ever sponsorship and I had 500 subscribers. They told me, we just want someone to rep our brand, get the word out there. They did not care at all how many followers I had. Now, the next tip that I gotta give to you guys is don't go out and don't go try to get a sponsorship from Monster Energy when you just hit 1,000 subscribers, because most likely it's not gonna happen. Even when you're trying to get your first or third or maybe 4th sponsorship, don't reach for huge companies. 2 of my biggest sponsorships that I have right now is AOT Racing, which is the team that I ride for. AOT Racing is a very big racing team, and they recently made it into AMA Supercross. And the second company that I'm sponsored by is Intake Breathing. If you guys know Supercross, you guys know Justin Varsha. He is sponsored by them, and he uses their nose products all the time. But when I was trying to get my first sponsorship, I didn't reach out to them. What I recommend is to go on Google and type in small companies that make. Put in whatever you want. Small companies that make stickers, grips, gloves, goggles. If you're a small content creator and they're a small company, the chances of them saying yes are going to be pretty high because they want to see them grow by watching you grow. As it goes for riding, a lot of people also think that you need to ride track or want to be a pro motocross rider when you get older to get sponsored. I don't even ride track that much. I've ridden a few tracks in my past and I still plan on riding more tracks in the future, but I am not a main track rider. I do trail riding. And all of my sponsors know that, and that's just another proof of saying that you don't need to ride track in order to get sponsored. Yes, some companies, they want you to be a dedicated motocross rider who is making it to Loretta Lynn's and who wants to be a pro motocross rider when they get older. But not all companies are looking for that. I'm also not saying if you ride a 110 Kawasaki pit bike that you're going to get sponsored by a bunch of people. Companies don't want you to be a backyard rider, but they also don't need you to be a pro supercross rider. Be kind of somewhat in the middle. I take my riding very seriously. Every single day when I'm on my bike, I train new stuff about me, whether it's my posture, my feet placement, my hands placement, my breathing control, and I even do a lot of off the bike training as well. So yeah, take your riding seriously. but you don't have to get all hate and vegan just to get sponsored by a drink company. Wrap this up to make it short and simple. What do you need to do to get sponsored? You need to be professional, have somewhat of a following. Don't hit 50 subscribers on YouTube and go out there and try to get sponsored by Red Bull. Third tip is you don't need to be a pro motocross rider, but just don't be a backyard rider. Companies want to see you ride your bike at tracks. While you're riding, you're wearing their gear. If you're a backyard rider, you won't really need to wear motocross boots or even a chest protector for that matter. The next thing is patience and learning no. I know it sounds very stupid. I know I probably sound like a mother, but a lot of companies will say no. I reached out to several teams, several companies, and they've shot me down. And a few companies have reached out to me and I've shot them down. The other thing that you gotta do, and the last tip that I gotta give you, is don't rush it. I understand, let's say you just got your third sponsorship, but they're offering you a pretty bad deal. Look over the deal before you sign the contract. Although it's another sponsorship added to your resume and you're gonna be hyped, make sure that both you and the company are getting something out of this. Those are all the tips that I taught myself on how to get sponsored at 15. I never watched any YouTube tutorials or any tips on how to get sponsored. I kind of just wing it. But I did learn, I did make a lot of mistakes while doing that, so that's why I'm making this video to teach you guys. Let me know in the comments who you guys are sponsored by, and who knows, maybe we're sponsored by the same companies.